All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of MixStream. This is episode 16 already. Okay. Right. So, thank you, everyone, for watching. Thanks for your patience for all of you who have been waiting for the live stream to start. Okay. Before this, we were doing a little bit of a chit chat, a little casual chit chat. All right. And by the way, all right, if you are watching this right now, all right, live during the live stream, please do say hi. There is a live chat that's going on, okay, on this side of the screen. Okay, I always get confused because I'm looking at the camera, whether is it left or right, but it should be on this side. Okay, for you, there is a live chat. All right, please do say hi and let me know where you are from. Okay, now let me just kind of go and look through the chat for a quick session. Actually, I'll do it after that. Okay, but let me just talk a little bit about what we are doing. Okay, so tonight I'm very honored and I'm very excited because I'm gonna be mixing and working with a fantastic singer, right? A fantastic vocalist, one which I've worked on many times beforehand, right? And she is none other than the amazing, the talented, and the beautiful Marsha Milan. Okay, right. So right, Marsha, okay, is a, if you can see right in the description, we put a little short bio. Right, she is of course right, rose to fame through Akademi Fantasia, and right, she has gone on to release numerous right solo albums, OST hit singles. She's also a TV and a film actress. She's a host. She's also like ambassador for a lot of international brands. You can see her face, right? Passed on some ads for big brands big international brands Okay, so right, this is a brand new single that she has sent to me. The title, right, is called Hapus, right? So it's a beautiful ballad, right? It's a really lovely ballad. So we're gonna be checking out, and I'm gonna be mixing this song tonight. Now, let me talk real quickly. Right, this is of course MixStream, and MixStream is my show, my little program here where I showcase and I share my mixing process, how I mix, right, a song. Okay, so these are usually songs which I'm obviously songs which I'm working on, mostly Malaysian, local, but even some regional and international songs as well. Okay, so MixStream here is a one of the platforms which I have, right? Or I have my YouTube channel. I have the MixStream Facebook community page, and all of this content and all of this, right, the live stream videos. I do weekly update Wednesdays, tutorials. Very recently, I did the DirectAccess music production workshop. Not only did I do it on the ground, I shot the entire series and have been posting the videos for the workshop. It's all available online, all available for free. Right, you don't have to pay a single cent to right, to watch all this content. But right, if you feel like you want to help and support the channel financially, if you want to help to support me, right, in creating all this content, you can do so, okay, by becoming a patron. Okay, head on down to, right, you can see the website that's up there. Okay, www.patreon.com/studio2105. Okay, you can go to it, check it out. Right, there are different tiers. You can sign up, right, and become a patron for as low as $1, $1 a month. That's about 4 ringgit. Okay, now to in order to help to support the channel. But if you want, also there are also different tiers as well. You also have higher tiers. You have the direct access tier. You have also the VIP tiers. And if you go right, the higher tiers, there are more special perks and benefits. Okay, for example, one-on-one tutorial online mentoring sessions. Not only do you get to like watch these live streams, but I will sit down one-on-one with you, right? Well, not in person. We now do this all remotely, okay, via Zoom, via Skype, all right? And we can work through your own mixes. We can go through your projects, and I'll sit down and I will, okay, run through you. I'll go and explain any kind of issues or any questions you might have. Okay, not only that, okay, now for VIPs, well, VIPs even better, man. VIPs, okay, you also get discount codes, okay, that you can use, right, towards any of the studio services here. So if you wanna, okay, sign up to become a patron, right, tonight's one is going to be special, right? I've discussed this with Marsha already, right? So if you sign up, okay, for tonight, right, all the revenue, right, that is going to be derived from this live stream, okay, 100% of it, we are going to channel it to a charitable cause, okay, right? So usually what happens is we split it 50-50. 50% goes to the artist, 50%, right, goes to me. But tonight, okay, we're going to be make it special, right? 100% of any revenue that comes in is going to go to a charity, okay? But when you do so, all right, use this code to send a message, let us know, right? The code MixStream16, right, so that I know that you want to, okay, that you are, signing up in right, as a result of watching this video lah, okay. So now without further ado, okay, there could be I could talk on a lot more about what we do, but what you guys want to do here is to, all right, learn together, right, technically sit next to me, watch, all right, behind my shoulder as I mix a song, okay. So let's go and let's start off first of all, and as usual, right, I have already pulled up a rough mix of the song. Before this, everything is already prepped, as you can see, okay. Right, we have some electronic kicks, some program tricks, kicks. These are drums. These are live drums. Some percussion and effect stuff, bass, piano, acoustic guitar, right, and some string section. Okay, pretty simple, very straightforward, straightforward instrumentation. But sometimes simple is the best. Less is more, as they say. So first things first, let's take a listen to the rough mix of the entire song. Okay, so that's the important thing. We want to always take a overall look, know where the different parts are coming in, know where the different instruments are coming in, what needs to be featured, what parts need to come forward, need to come back, and this gives us an overall big picture. Okay, so let's take a listen, right, and check it out.
Kumohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu, maka usah memendam rasa cinta. Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu. Ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu. Hapus saja bayang-bayang sedia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya. Oh, hapus saja hayal cintamu itu, karena aku di sini sedia bahagiakanmu. Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu. Ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu
guitar solo. Modulation. We have the BBs coming in here and ad-libs. Alright, there you go. That is a rough mix of the song, okay? So this is a static mix, okay? No EQ, no compression, nothing. It's just a faders only balance, right? Okay, there is a tiny touch of reverb. There's a tiny touch of delay actually on the vocal, but it's just to, right? Let me see, instead of hearing just a totally dry vocal. Amazing, man. Okay, super fantastic arrangement and a lovely song and vocal delivery. All right, this is gonna be so fun and so enjoyable to work with. Okay, right. So let's start off. We've already heard the rough mix. Now let's mute everything, and let's start. Okay, where do we start? Okay, now. So since this song, right, does have drums in it, I am actually gonna work on the back section first lah. I want to, right, set my initial levels, okay? So how do I do that? Okay, followers and viewers, regular viewers would already know, okay? A good and easy way to set, right, a consistent level, right, is to use the kick drum as a reference. So where do I target, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to target to set the kick drum to peak at about minus 12 dB FS, okay? So minus 12 dB FS. Okay, let me set this, right? And you probably might not be able to see this because, again, I'm using a dual monitor. You guys can only sort of see my first monitor screen. Unless there's a way, right? I'm still a noob at OBS, okay? Only doing this streaming thing, right? Only since MCO this year. So I know there's a way to swipe to switch between different screens and hear that. But I really have to learn all that, okay? Okay? Alright, so let's start. So, actually this is already set to what level I have. So I'll show you. But the first thing that I want to do and I want to slap on, as you know, okay, I always like to use tape and also console emulations. Nowadays, we are working in digital, right? And we want to sort of bring back a little bit of that analog flavor. The great thing about digital is that you can color it any way you want, okay? Right? Because digital itself is very clean. So now with some of these plugins, we can bring in the analog flavor, okay? And there's so many choices that we can choose from. All right, different flavors from different plugin developers and different plugin companies. What I will be using, and I'm going to share with you what I always use, is okay, two sets of plugins here. Right, they're all from Slate Digital. Slate Digital has the All Access Pass. Right, so the first one here is Virtual Tape Machines. This is, so basically I'm emulating the signal flow as if I have as if the tracks, right, were recorded on a tape machine. So this is going to, right, 2-inch 16 track, tape type FG456, 15 IPS lah, okay. Now 15 IPS, I choose this for drums, okay. And for some instruments, some other instruments like maybe the vocal and all that, I'll usually go for 30 IPS, okay, 30 IPS. So that's first thing, right? Virtual tape machine. This is followed by, this is virtual mixed rack, and what I have here, first one is called virtual channel. So this one emulates the signal in models, the signal flow, as if it's going through a channel of an analog console. right? I have this on the USA setting. My favorite, I love the sound of this. This is the API console, followed by FG73. This is a model of the Neve 1073, right? So think about it. This is coming from as if it's been recorded on the tape machine, going to the channel of an API, right, with a pre of a Neve 1073. Okay, so this helps to inject a little bit of color, and I'm going to be doing this on virtually every single channel. So let's go to the kick drum, this section. Now, there you can see there are actually two kicks, right? The first kick, this is actually recorded with the mic. I decided not to use this, okay? And kick 2 is actually a sample kick, right? So I think the arranger already, right? God bless him. Thank you very much. He saved a lot of work this way, right? He actually provided me samples already, right? So this is already a sample kick, along with also a sample snare, and later on even sample toms. All right, thank you very much, right? So very seldom that we get arrangers or producers that take that extra step. So sometimes they leave this decision up to me, so it's great. All right, these are the sounds which the producer has already meticulously chosen. They've already meticulously decided, all right, this is the best sound, this works the best. Okay, so why, personally, I think there's no other reason why I would want to go and switch it and drastically change it lah. Okay, now personally, that's my philosophy, but we'll see. Okay, so kick drum, let's take a look. Let's play only the kick drum. Oh, it's an electronic kick. Let me mute that first. There we go. There we go. You mute the hi-hat. Okay, so this sample already has got a bit of ambience in it, alright? So, very cool, alright? This already fits really well into the context of the song. It's a ballad anyway, right? So even a kick with a little bit, I actually would sometimes put a bit of reverb on a kick drum, because maybe we want the sustain to be a little bit longer. Okay, but first things first, alright, I am going to do a little high pass at 20. Okay, now let me show you. This is the master. Let's see where it's kind of peaking, okay? Okay. Right, I could actually bring it up a little bit more, actually. Let's try and just bring it up to, let's say, all the way here. Nice. Okay, good. So now it is kind of peaking at about -13, right? That's perfectly fine. Now again, -12 is just a rough figure. You don't have to religiously stick to it, right? Sometimes later on you'll find in the mix that maybe the kick drum is a little bit too loud or too soft or something. You bring it up, bring it down as you necessary, right? -12 is just -12 dBFS is just a starting point for me. You can set it whichever way you want. When you want to go a bit higher, -10 dBFS, a little bit lower, that's perfectly fine. Just as long as you always set a level which you calibrate, okay, for yourself. Okay, so there we go. Okay, kick drum. Now I'm not gonna put a lot, okay, on the kick drum. This is, after all, it's already a sample kick. The dynamics are all already very even. It's already been even that way. And honestly, in fact, it sounds great the way it is, man. I don't see the need to EQ it drastically, but okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a touch. I don't know. Now for some of these kick drums, like a more ballady, I like to use this. This is the U73 that also comes with Slate Digital. Now there is one little preset which I call the subtle tube limiter. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit of limiting, a tiny touch of limiting to it, okay? So let me sort of set the input gain first. Now, so basically the release is going to be pretty fast, right? Because we want the sustain. We just want to limit the peaks a little bit. And not much. I'm not going to go for much, right? This is going to be like a tiny touch. So let's check it out, okay? Okay, hold shift down so that the input and output, you can see, will trim accordingly. So I'm just going to aim for maybe 1 dB. This is very gentle, okay? Just a touch. That's all, okay? Okay, now let me compensate for the output. Okay, let me bypass. Okay, let me bypass this. Okay, down about minus 2.5. That's it, right? Just a tiny, tiny touch. Now, I'm actually hearing a lot of stuff inside this kick drum, but I don't think I'll touch anything. I'll just leave it the way it is. It sounds fine the way it is, you know. So it's important also to sometimes just leave the things alone, okay? You don't have to EQ every single thing. If it's fine, if it sounds great, leave it the way it is. Now, so this already helps to set the initial level. So everything else in the mix, I'm going to be balancing relative to that kick drum level. So this gives me, all right, ample headroom. It gives me, you know, ample headroom so that it's not going to clip the master, and it's also giving me sufficient level that, you know, the noise floor isn't going to be too high, all right? Okay, so next thing, I always like to mix my drums from the top down. So instead of going from kick, snare, hi-hat, and all the close mics, after I go to kick, I'm going to straight away jump and work with the overheads already, okay? Okay, so overheads, same thing, same deal. Let's load in the same signal path. It's already preset that way. Now let me just link it first. Let's check it out, all right? Okay, let's go for maybe the section at the back where there's a little bit more activity. Okay, let me just flip this polarity for a second. Let's just leave it the way it is. Okay, great. Okay, so now let's just solo the overheads first. So, this I believe was probably recorded. I'm not sure where this was recorded, okay, but I'm gonna, because I didn't record this, I just want to double check something. I want to check the phase coherency of the overheads, okay? They sound fine, but it's good to double check. And so how I do that, okay, I use this plugin, right, called In Phase Stereo by Waves, okay? So it's a very, very handy tool, very, very useful tool, right, to check phase coherency, right? It's got different modes. Not only do you have like a stereo mode where you can A/B, but you can also side chain it as well, right? So what's going to happen is I'm sending the overheads. This is going into the overhead group. So overhead left is going to channel 1. Overhead 2 is going to be going to channel, overhead left is going to channel 1. Overhead right is going to channel 2, right? So very simple. I just play the audio, okay? And let's maybe play this portion. And then it says ready to capture. Capture. So it's going to analyze the audio. And voila, there you go. It's done in like a couple of seconds. So let's look for maybe a transient point right here. Let's zoom in. Let's take a look at it. And as you can see, right, the right hand side appears to be, well, it appears to be, could be wrong, it appears to be slightly early, right, compared to the left. You can see the one in yellow, right, it's a bit earlier compared to the right. So maybe what this means is that, you know, what this tells me that is that the overhead that's on the right is a little closest to the snare. Okay, so now again, nothing wrong, no right, no wrong again, right? But that's not something that I would do. I usually make sure that the snare is equidistant. I'll take care of this sort of things in your recording. I did a video, by the way. It's on the DirectAccess, one of the DirectAccess videos, right? Where I detail how I record the drums. Check it out, okay? It's on my YouTube channel. So, right, very easy. So what we do is let's see what happens if we pull them together in alignment, okay? So very easy. You can either drag here. Let's do that. Let's see what happens. And not much going on actually. Okay. And I think let's flip the face. Sweet. Okay. Now, even though the timing was, let's say, a little bit off, but the phase relationship seems okay. Right? That's why I was listening. There was no real issues either. It wasn't really phase, but we can actually improve this, right? So what I've done now is I have set it back by, that's quite a lot actually, 2 milliseconds. That's quite a lot, you know. Okay, let me zoom it back down and take a look and see. That's interesting. That's very interesting actually. Let me pull this back and see what happens if we do it here. Very, very interesting. Okay. Okay, let's set it back there to where we were, 2 point. Right. Let's listen to it. Let me just take a quick listen. Okay, so first of all, a couple of things. Definitely the right is definitely louder. So let me try and balance it. Okay, just a tiny touch, 1.5 dB. Okay, it's easier to go here. .8. Closer to 2 lah. Okay, let's listen to it now. It's better. It's a bit more balanced this way. Flip the phase. Interesting. Right, okay. Now, when I flip this actually sounds a lot more in phase to me, right? So I think this definitely improves it. It's when it was without the processing, it was okay. It's a little slightly phasey, okay? But this definitely, to me, it sounds a little more solid this way. Okay, let me just bypass the processing. Put it in again. Oh yeah. When it's this way, it sounds like a little hollow. It sounds like a little bit wide. Definitely, you know, a little bit of out of phasiness lah. So now, so let's bear this in mind. Let's invert the polarity, invert the phase on one of the channels. It can be left or right. That's it. Doesn't matter. And here, let's remember, right? 2.04 milliseconds. Let's remember this figure. Okay, so 2.4 milliseconds, and let's input that into the channel offset later. Okay, so let's turn this off. Let's remember, first one, let's take the overhead right, let's invert the polarity, and also in the inspector. Okay, now in Cubase it's done here, but I'm sure in your DAW there's also something similar lah. All right, so I'm going to push it back 2.04 milliseconds. All right, just a tiny touch. So this should be a little bit more in phase. Let's listen. Let's go with that. Yeah, okay. Now, having to say, the little phasiness doesn't sound too bad. All right, I've definitely heard, you know, situations where it's a lot worse. Okay, but again, you decide lah which one sounds better, which one feels better. Okay, right? And okay, so let me get this out. Okay, now with the overheads, let's play back with the kick drum again. Okay, nice. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna insert this. This is the AOSys E2 de-esser. There is a preset here which is OH soften. So this is just here to just just kind of soften the crashes, right, whenever it's hit a bit hard lah. Just a tiny touch. So let's bring the sensitivity down. It sounds fine the way it is. Okay, yeah. So some of the very hard hits, I just have it tuck the high end just a bit. Right, but otherwise, other than that, right, it was played really, really well, right? These drums were really played really, really well. It was really balanced. Nice. Now let's move on next to the snare drum. And what do we have here? We have actually a couple of snares. So the first snare that was sent to me, this is actually the live snare that was from the mic. So let's check it out. First of all, same thing, tape and console. Let's bring it in. Okay, you can hear it's a little bit tubby sounding, which is fine. I don't mind that. All right, I really don't mind that at all. Okay, let's take out all the bottom end. We don't really need this. Okay, there's one ring here. This is where the kick drum resonates actually. There you go. Let me sort of chop that out. Now, okay, I'm just gonna leave it here at this first. All right. Let's, as I said, there's a saying that I like to use. It's called set and forget. Okay. So you set whatever processing you do, whether your EQ, your compression, whatsoever thing you do, you set it first and move on. Okay, you move on. You set it, but you don't forget what you have done. Right? Because at this point in time, there is nothing else going on. There's the bass is not in, the vocals are not there, so it's very hard to judge. Right? Any decision you make now, very likely later on you're gonna have to change and alter it anyway. So if there's no major issues, no major problems, right? Don't need to fix it lah, okay? Now this is a little dark, right? So what I'm gonna do is I will bring in one of my favorite EQs, the FGA. This is an API 550 emulation, okay? Let's put the filter. Low end is good enough already, alright? So just the top. Just want to make it brighter. So about 7K. Let's see how much. Sounds about right. So quite a lot, alright? Let's put at 10K. Maybe 12 dB. It sounds much better. Okay, and then maybe at about 5K as well. There you go. Alright, it's brought it to life. You compare it without. So dark and so dull. There you go. Right, it's much brighter. Much better now. Maybe dial this back down to 9 dB. Sweet. Very, very nice. Okay. Right. Hey, who else is there? Oh, by the way, I just noticed Zohilmi Zulkifli. Hi, Zol. Right. Okay. He says, for your vocal, Marsha. Yeah, man. Marsha, indeed. She's fantastic. One of my favorite vocalists to have worked with. And a lot of fun as well, okay? Maybe a quick side story. I think the very first time I worked with her was when she did a duet with Zarul Umbrella, right? So she did that. This was a very, very long time ago, man. I think 2007, 2008. That's like 12 years ago. So that was the first time I actually worked with her on a professional basis, right? And she, all right, Marsha is also best friends, very, very good friend with Velvet, with Velvet Adu, right? Who, right, is also the wife of another good friend of mine, Rich from Estrange, right? And right, the three of them, they're definitely what brought them together was definitely Akademi Fantasia, right? Rich also right took part as a contestant that year, and well, many times we worked on many projects together, lah. So I think the one very recently, I also mixed another song that was a duet with Velvet and Marsha. It was called Insan Tadao. Just very recently, only it was a song that was right written as it was a heartfelt, very heartfelt song that was written for in light of the situation of COVID-19 seems so. And when immediately when Sabah was hit with that very first wave, you know Sabah was so badly affected, so this was a song which they put out. And right, a couple of other songs as well. And then if you go back a couple of years, the one that was really the big hit, right, for both Marsha and Velvet was Sumanda Sabah lah. Right, that was a super fun song. Okay, Marsha recorded her vocals here, I think, but Velvet recorded back in KK, back in Sabah. Rich, of course, was producing and arranging it here, and I mixed a song that was super fun. So that was like a real hit song. Sidetrack. Let's go back to this song. Okay, so now with this no compression, I want to slap in a bit of a limiter. So this is the Boss Little Clipper. So let's check it out. Just again a tiny touch, right? Just to catch the. Okay, let's go to maybe the part. Let's go to the loud parts at the end of the song, okay? But you can see this drummer. I wonder who played the drums on this, man. I wonder. Super consistent. Yeah, just to catch the. It sounds so consistent. It almost sounds like a sample, but that is the mic. That's the mic, all right? Yeah, that's it. That's just the mic. That's all. Okay, maybe the mic, the EQ does bring in a little bit of top end, but I don't mind it, man. Let's keep it that way, right? So let's move on to snare 2. So snare 2 here is actually a sample, if I'm not mistaken. So let's check it out. Right, where is it? Yeah, it's a bit of a sample, slightly kind of a trashier sample here. As you can see, it adds a bit of sustain. Let's see if we can bring out more of that, okay? And what we're gonna do, okay, I'm gonna check out something new. There's a very brand new update to the All Access Pass, the Virtual Mix Rack. That's the FG2A. Wow. Okay. All right. This is Slate Digital's emulation of the world famous LA2A optical compressor. Right. So it has finally come. Right. And the more and more plugins that Slate Digital is adding to is the less and less I'm using the UAD plugins. I'm so sorry, Universal Audio. I still love your plugins. I still do. Right. Okay. But let's check it out. Okay. So this is actually going to be the very first time I'm going to use the FG2A right on the snare. So let's check it out. What I want to do is I want to really enhance this sustain of this snare drum. So let's check it out. LA2A is simple, dead simple to use, okay? You just have peak reduction, that means the amount of compression, and your makeup gain. That's it. Those two things, that's all. Okay. Now there are some other stuff as well that they have added, right? All the newer plugins have also, right? In this case with the FG2A, they have included the mix knob, so you can run it in parallel. You can add amount of blend, right? In this case, I'm setting it to 100%. And you also have here, this is actually the filter, the EQ curve. So you can actually tweak this to alter the characteristic of the compressor. But I'm just going to leave it flat as usual, right? Because we want it to be a little bit more. We just leave it that way, lah. Okay, let's leave it that way. Let's check it out. Let's bring out the peak reduction. Slam it a bit more. Yeah, let's just slam it, man. I just noticed something funny. Did you guys see? You can actually turn it to 11, to 110. That is so funny, man. Okay, usually we think it's going to go to 100, but this goes to, well, now, if you are old enough, okay, you would remember the, from Spinal Tap, lah, right? Turn it up to 11. So that is so cool that they've done this, right? Let's turn it up to 11. Okay, all the way. Let's check it out and see how it sounds. Okay, bring up the gain. Nice. See, it brings up all the sustain. See, this is without. This is with. It enhances the sustain. Let's try and limit it and see. Makes it a little pokey. No, don't like it. It makes it a little bit too pokey, which I don't want. Let's keep it at compress. Let's play around with the filter. All right, let's play around with this. Now, what if it goes? Ooh, it actually lets some of the transient through. Actually, compare with flat. Okay, because in this case, some of the low end of the snare will act on the compressor. Okay, not too bad. Actually, this kind of lets a little bit more. Let me just bring this down. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. That is so useful to have this. I can't remember what it's called. EQ curve, emphasis, pre-emphasis. I can't remember what it's called. But this is really, really cool, man, that it's there. So let me just check again. Bypass. See, this is without. With. It gives so much more sustain to it, man. Nice, lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, it adds so much more sustain to the snare drum. Let's check it out. Yeah. Okay, gives a nice ring to it, and again, it's a ballad, right? So there's a lot of space for that snare to ring a little bit. Now, some people don't like the ring, but I kind of digging it, man. So let's just leave it at that. All right, let's just leave it there. Interesting. Okay, so I didn't mention that I didn't do any resampling, but actually I did in this case. I only did the resampling for the snare, and it was kind of okay. This is actually, as you can see, the name says snare Zepp. All right, Zepp here. You don't need to guess. Zepp here is short for Led Zeppelin. This is more of a Ludwig, kind of a Black Beauty kind of a sound. Let's take a listen. All right. Okay. Alright. I think what I need to do now, because I wanted actually to get a bit more sustain out of the snare. But since what I did with the snare sample that was given to me, the snare 2 here, and what FG2A helped to bring out, it doesn't feel like I need it that much anymore. So let's go without it first. Let's see how it sounds, overall drum balance, okay? I really like what the FG2A helped. It really brought out the sustain. Okay, let's maybe just bring this in because there is a bit of a room ambience to it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's roll off some of the low end. Okay, just a bit of this ring here. 374. Just a tiny bit. Sweet, awesome. So that's it. That's snare. That's snare done already. Okay, let's move on to hi-hat. Okay, this is a bit quiet. Simple, just roll off all the bottom. Okay, cool. So there is again another brand new plugin, right, with the latest Slate the All Access Pass update. Is the where is it? Okay, here we go. Fresh Air. This is awesome, and I've been using this right on a couple of mixes recently lately, and wow, this is like magic, man. It's it sounds like what it's no what this is actually, this is emulating what the process back in the 80s and 90s, where you get a very nice kind of a sheen on your mix, right, like a really really nice sparkly top end. And one of the methods that they use to do that is to use it through a Dolby, a Dolby A kind of a noise reduction system. So this emulates that. Okay, so I've been trying this and it's like, oh, it's beautiful, man. Okay, so super simple controls. You just a mid air or high air. That's it. Okay, trim to compensate for the gain, and that's all, man. Okay, so let's just add a bit of that high end sparkle. Get that, I mean, it's so sweet and so smooth, man, that top end. Okay, at about 80%. Let's trim down the volume though. Oh, that is such a sweet sounding top end, man. It's really really sweet sounding. I've been using it, and I can't take it off my mixers nowadays, but I have to be very very careful. When I put it on a mix bus, it's usually not more than 10%, right? It's there's a very very big danger. It's different from EQ, you don't get the same result just by EQing the top end. It's based on the Dolby A, this is like a noise reduction system, right, with their companding. It's a type of it's type of expansion, compression, and compression and expansion, right? But it's a noise reduction system, but there's a way that it's a trick that they used it to bring out that top end. It's not the same. You can't replicate the effect with EQ, right? So beautiful top end. Now, okay, I am actually gonna maybe put the hi-hat more 50. Usually I'm more of a fan of putting it hard left, but in this song, I guess let's put it a little bit more middle. Okay, now there is a bit of when it goes to the open hi-hat. A little bit of ring, the hi-hat, when it's going on the open hi-hats, starting to have a bit of ring at about 1.8K. And that's it. Voila. Okay, cool. So, kick snare and hi-hats done. Let's move on to toms, okay? So, first tom. So, as I explained earlier, right, I was actually given these are the actual microphones, mic toms, and the ones at the bottom, these are the sample ones. So, I was given both mic and I was given sample ones as well. So, awesome, man, right? That really helps save a bit of time. So, same thing, let's slap on. Now, first thing I want to check, right, the polarity. So, let's check the phase of this first tom. Okay, so I check with the overheads on. Oops, okay, hang on. Invert. it up a bit. Okay, I think the original way is fine. It's a very, very subtle difference. Super, super subtle. Not really worth agonizing over. Okay, so let's go back now with the tom and. Okay, let EQ this. It's about 300 here. You can hear this is actually some of the resonance coming from the second tom as well. Okay, and that's it. Okay, okay. I'll leave it at that first of all. Okay. Now, usually I would play around with the another plugin from Boss that's called the Bark of Dog, but because I've got the sample here, maybe I don't need it. Okay, so let's just leave it at that first. Okay, let's just see how it goes. Keep it a little bit more straightforward. All right. So let's go again, tuck it in a bit at 30. Okay, so let's go again. This would be tom 2. Check the polarity. Oh, it is not tom 2. Here we go. Load this first. Oh, okay, this one definitely clearer. Clearly, the original way is better, right? You hear all the bottom. I hear the bottom end going in. By the way, guys, if you have to listen, right, try listening on this on a good pair of headphones or earphones or monitor speakers. Okay, if you're listening on your phone speakers, your mobile device, there's no way you can hear all these kind of differences, especially in the low end. So, right, my suggestion is, advice is, right, if you listen, right, get a good pair of headphones, right, something like these babies over here, you know. Hey, product placement. Okay, these are Beyerdynamic DT990s. If you guys want to get Beyerdynamic phones at a good discount, right, I can help you get good deals. Okay, so get in touch. Okay. Right, so tom 2, here we go, solo the tom 2, let's see. Okay, one little resonance, that's all. About 350, that's it. Okay, simple, right? Let's keep it minimal as possible. And then floor tom. Okay, floor tom kind of goes over here, so let me just. Same thing, solo with the. Okay, maybe let's just choose one. Oh, is there a segment where there is a much longer floor tom hit? Ah, okay, right here. This will be a lot easier to work with, you see, because that one is so short. Okay, let's loop this area. Okay, same thing. You notice the instance that I slap on this, right? Because of the tape and the console emulation, it automatically fattens, right? There is a little bit of tiny bit of saturation as well coming into the because of tape and all that. So there is a very clear drastic difference when you put the two together. Okay, and it's something that right, it just makes it, as you say lah, the analog flavor, the analog warmth. Okay, I hate using the word warmth because it's such a generic and a corny word that's used to describe so many things. But yeah, sometimes there's no other better way to describe it. Okay, it's such a pleasing character. You know, so many records that we love back in the day, and even some still today now are still being recorded and mixed on, large format analog consoles. Okay, I'm gonna go on a little short rant right here, right now. Could probably not lah. Okay, you know all the media hoo-ha about Billie Eilish's album, that oh wow, it was produced by her brother, it was recorded at home, right, just with the DAW with a simple microphone and all that. Do you all know that the media totally ignores that the songs were all mixed by a Grammy-winning engineer inside a proper studio with proper large format analog console. No one talks about that. All that fact is all ignored, you know. So the bit here. Okay, now drums, because of, you know, the bigger they get, you know, you get a little bit more overtones lah. So that's why, you know, the floor tom has a little bit more overtones. I feel this could need a bit of bottom end boost. So, you know, this is the one that I usually love to use for the bark of dog. Let's check it out. Let's find the frequency. Okay, about that. Just to give a bit more bottom. Let's change the modes to passive. Nope. Combo. It's a bit cleaner. Classic has got the most low end, but combo sounds a bit cleaner. Okay, that's cool. Maybe a little bit more. You're right. 5.5, alright? Just a little bit more. Okay, now, so let's pan this back again. Let's go to the start of where the drums are. Sweet, okay, nice. Drums pan as hard as I used to normally. Normally I really go with my floor tom all the way to the right. But, you know, for this song, let's just keep it a little. Okay, it's cool. Now let's bring in the sample. Let's see what it adds to the table, okay? Same thing. Okay. I think I must have forgotten to edit all these parts out. Okay. Alright, let me just quickly do this. Okay, for my own sanity. Right, because I am a little bit ADD when it comes to this sort of things. Alright, so easier for me to know where is the part coming in. Just roughly do this, okay? Usually I would already do this, alright? I actually have, you know, prepped the whole session before this, but I think I must have missed this out lah, okay? Alright. Okay, snip, 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 snip. Roughly first lah. Usually I'm a lot more detailed, okay? I'm going right up to the... But let's just leave it here. Okay, so let's check it out. Let's try and blend in the samples and see. Okay, it's definitely more... a little bit more ambient. Okay, I don't know about you, but it sounds weird to me. And the tricky thing about toms is, again, I did these videos already, right, on drum sample replacement. Most people, it's not very often that you see people resampling the toms. There are occasions that I've done so, right? The thing is, it's a bit tricky because toms, because of their different tunings and their different resonances, unless you find a sample which really matches the tuning, the overtones. Now in this case, because the sample and the live toms got different overtones, you know, they're clashing with each other. To me, it sounds like that. So, it's weird. Okay, it's a little bit weird. Let me just bring that up and see what happens. Okay, I can hear it is like beating because you got clashing frequencies like between the sample and the original tom. Yeah. And why is this so distant? Okay, alright, cool. Alright. I guess this settles it then, right? Don't need to use the sample toms, right? So sorry to the arranger for having to supply you all this. But in most cases, most situations, right? Unless the toms are really horrible, unless it's been really so badly recorded or the leakage is so terrible, I usually can always make it work, lah, right? So usually I don't resample toms, right? That has only happened on the very, very, very rarest of occasions. So this really sounds good. Okay, so again, recording really sounds good. Don't need to use the samples, lah. So let's just disable. Alright, cool. So next thing I want to add will be a little bit of reverb. And what I'm gonna do is, let's send this to reverence. So, alright, I'm gonna add reverb on the overhead. Okay, so this is something which I've picked up. It's a technique which I've learned. So what I'm gonna do is, reverence, right, is a convolution reverb that comes standard in Steinberg. So what convolution reverb does is that it takes impulse responses, IRs, of either the effects units or an actual physical location of a hall, for example, Royal Albert Hall or some kind of a Philharmonic Hall, or even like a cave, right, or a cathedral, and you're using the impulse response, right, you simulate the actual sonic characteristics of the either a piece of equipment or the actual physical location. So let's do this, right? So I have the sample libraries here. Let's check it out. Right, let me go into it. Now, these are my impulse responses. Now, everything from Eventide, Lexicon, PCM, DRE, TC6000. Okay, I have all these actually in as part of my mailing list. If you sign up, right, with the mailing list, right, it takes you to a page where you can click on the link to download, right, not only the IR libraries that I have here, as I showed you, right, so many IR responses, but also my snare drum library as well. Okay, so freebies, go and check it out. Okay, so let's go with the TC6000, right? This is the TC Accelerator System 6000. It's a super expensive effects unit. So I'm gonna go with, let's go with this. All right, I have not used the TC6000 once in a long while, so let's see how it is. So it says ballad vocal hall, and let's go with something nice and lush. Let's check it out. Okay, you're right. Doesn't really work for me. It sounds like it's a bit too much. Let's go to the back section. Yeah, it's a bit too much of a build up down there. So let's roll this up to maybe about 400. And about 390. Let's pull out 390. Let's pull this back down to maybe about 7K. Let's listen to it now. Much better. Much better. Okay. Let's add a bit of reverb on this. could be a bit shorter. Let's shorten it down. Okay, that's much better, right? Slightly shorter tail to it, lah. All right. Okay, let's be here. Where's that coming from? Okay, now some of that when the hi-hat goes into open, when it goes into the open hat section, some of that kind of the bleed is in the snare. I start to hear that kind of a frequency. So let's see here, about 440. That's much better. Okay, that's much better. Nice. Let me just invert. Yeah, let's keep that inverted. Okay, all right, very, very cool. Right, so let's play around a little bit more. So this is actually, I was actually sent also an overall drum mix. So this is a stereo file of the drums. So let's check it out. What we're gonna do is let's play around with it, okay? Okay, you can guess what I'm gonna do. Right, let's smash the heck out of this. So let's go with, let's see. Should I go with the FG2A? No, I think let's go with something a little bit more. Okay, just curious. Let's go with FG2A, right, and just see how it works, okay? Let's just smack the living daylights out of it. Interesting. Let's turn the... Very interesting. Okay, turn it off first. Very nice, but doesn't sound aggressive enough. I want it to be really aggressive. So let's go with this guy. This is the FG Bomber. No, sorry, this is Monster. It's called a Monster, not a Bomber. Check it out. Let's see whether it's doing it or not. Let's put this preset. Let's see. Right, fastest attack, slowest release. Not really. It's not really doing it. Not really doing it for me. Let's try something else then. Let's go with the Pulsar Digital Smasher. Okay, this is also actually a 1176 with the all buttons mode in. Right, as you can see, this is also a blue stripe. I've used this quite a lot. You've seen me in previous episodes, but let's check this out, okay? Okay, let's see. Yeah. Even though the Monster is technically supposed to be the same, it's supposed to be the 4. I think I kind of like this a little bit better. Let's listen. All right. I can hear, yeah, it distorts a bit more. But let's roll up all the bottom ender. Now this may not really be appropriate for the song, but let's check it out and just have fun and see what happens, okay? Maybe just a tiny bit. Let's go maybe the loud parts. Okay, yeah, all this compression is bringing out a little bit of this. Okay, just a tiny bit underneath lah. Again, set it, but don't forget, okay? Let's set it and don't forget. If you notice here, there's actually 2 tracks here of a crash. Now, I actually did resample some of the crashes as well. That we'll see whether we need it or not lah, okay? So I just put this here just in case. These were sampled using SSD5, but at the moment I don't think I need it. So let's just keep it all muted first. Let's just bring this down. So yeah, here we go. That's pretty much the drums, all right? Now, let's move on to the next thing. And again, if you guys have any questions, man, please do leave it down in the chat. And, oh, wow, sorry, guys. I have didn't notice some of the stuff that's going on. Hey, Ben Vincent. Good to see you again, all right? Okay. And, right. Jai Sami Jason, hey, alright man. He says, Ben and Jai both say, Alah, terlambat masuk. Okay, no worries. You can always watch this back on the review, right? You can watch this over and over and again. Please give me the watch time. Alright, alright. And, okay, here we go. And, oh wow. Hello, Chris, one of my moderators from Eyes and Ears Productions. Welcome, man. Thanks for joining in. Right, so sorry guys if I'm not noticing the chat sometimes because I'm looking at the mix and listening to the mix, so only time to time only I'll check it back. But if you have any questions, any comments, right, please always leave them down. Or if you just want to say hi, you just want to chat, okay, just leave it down in the live chat. Okay, awesome, man. All right, it's really great. Okay, hey, right, how you guys doing, man? Yes, so tonight, yes, definitely is Sabah represent, man. Right, I am of course obviously working with Marsha. This is her brand new single. Okay, so really excited to share this with you. Okay, Marsha is unable to join. She said she's got a she's got kind of a private function, a little something to attend to, but it will be great. Hey, I was saying, guys, if you're watching this, I was asking if you would be great, it would be awesome if you just write a little message to Marsha, okay? Just in the chat, just type in the chat, hello Marsha, how are you? We love your songs, or something like that, okay? Right? And I will be very glad and happy to show it to her, lah, right? She does she did message me earlier, and she does apologize that she can't join in tonight, okay? But here we go. That's drums. Let's move on to bass, the final frontier. Okay, here we go. All right, just blend it in. First thing, as usual, I think this bass is, I don't know whether this is played or this is programmed. It's probably programmed though. Okay, let's bring in as usual, because it sounds so good and it sounds so even already on its own. It's like I don't really need to do anything to the bass. So again, I think it boils down to the message, right? Mixing really is 70 to 80%. It's really about your choice of sounds and your arrangement. you know, how good your original capture or the choice of sounds, in the case if you are programming, right? What kind of sounds you choose, what kind of patches that you choose. Honestly, 70%, 80% of that is all about that. Everything else is just about putting everything in balance and in perspective. The bass sounds good on its own already. Just like, what do I need to do, man? You know, don't even need to do much, right, to it, all right? But just to give it a little bit more firmness, I will usually go it to my usual chain lah. Okay, so just balance this in. In fact, before I go to the bass, let me just go back to the drums first of all, and just slap in my favorite compressor. Now again, I almost never ever compress on the individual drums. Even I will put limiting, but even that's only a little bit. Right, as you see, I put a little bit of a limiter on the kick drum earlier on. But okay, I will, however, do compress, right, the drums. So this is my favorite. This is the API 2500. Right, I wish I could get a hold of an actual hardware unit. That would be a dream come true. Okay, but let's check it out, right? Let's check it out first of all. Bypass. Let's go with slower attack time. Because this is grabbing the snare a bit. Let's go with 1 millisecond. Let's bypass. Nice. Okay, you're right. So by default, sometimes like it's with 0.03 milliseconds, but if I want to let the transient a bit through, I will pull it off back lah. Right, add to about, let's say, one millisecond. So this helps transient come back up again. So back again to the bass. You know what? I'm really tempted to use the fresh air on the drums. Let's see how it goes, okay? Just to like sweeten it a little bit, okay? It sounded so great on the hi-hat just now. Let's see if this maybe adds a little bit of that sparkleness on the drum kit. Just check it out. Got that, you know, that 90s pop kind of a high end. Okay, I need to tone down on the hi-hat track though. Bypass. Wow, that is like a huge difference, man. That's a huge difference. Okay, again, I need to be careful, right, not to overdo this, because it's very tempting to slap on so much of this until later on, right, the mix becomes all bright and gotta be careful of that. All right, so back to the bass. Okay, first thing I would have is a instance of the Wave C4 multiband. This is a multi-band compressor, but what I'm doing is I'm only going to be using only the lowest band, right? All the other 3 bands up here are all bypassed. What it's going to do is this is just going to very gently control only the bottom end lah. Okay, that's what it's going to do, right? So all right, it's just a tiny bit, right, so that the low end doesn't jump around too much. Super, right, the attack is fairly slow, 65 milliseconds. Release also is fairly slow, just to control the bottom end. Okay. Okay, alright. Oh, it's a little glitch over there. I wonder what that was. Hang on a second. Now let me just make sure I exit some of the stuff first. exit the don't want all this stuff running in the background. I should have done it earlier actually. Okay, all good. All right, let's move back here. Again, the sound is so good. I don't really need to use this. So usually on the Surfer EQ Boogie, all right, I'll just show you very quickly what it does. Okay, so this is a intelligent EQ that we can track the frequency, that can track the note in real time. It looks ahead and it tracks it, so that you can follow the notes, or you can always set it to follow maybe the upper harmonics. Second harmonic which would be an octave above, and so on and forth. This would be the third harmonic would be the fifth, and fourth would be the this would be 2 octaves higher. Then you have the 7th note. So these are all in the harmonic series lah. Okay, so it's very useful because you can track and maybe subtract and eliminate some of those upper harmonics, and it follows. It's not like an EQ which you set only one frequency and it stays there, but this one will track and follow accordingly wherever that root, the fundamental of the note will go for. But again, the choice of sounds is so good, I don't think I need it, man. So let's bypass this, right? Okay, you can, if you want to see how it works and use it, you can always go back, watch other episodes lah, okay? Alright, in my YouTube channel, okay? That would be great. And more watch time. Hey. Okay, that's cool. Alright. Now let's slap on this. Now this is a 1176 revision A, the blue stripe. Okay. This was gonna be fairly slow attack. Okay, fairly fast release as well. Okay, all right. So let's check this out. This is just gonna be doing a tiny touch. Just to sort of control some of the peaks, just to make it more even. It's fat, man, fat. Oh, that's so fat, man. I'm not doing a lot, okay, here some of the low notes does go a bit higher. 4:1 ratio, by the way. Listening context. Nice sustain to the note. Some of the bottom, the super low note does get a little bit lost, but I'm very curious. Is this programmed, or it sounds so good? It sounds so perfect. I was wondering if this is programmed, or I can't tell. All right, I don't. Is there any way to tell whether this is programmed? Hard to tell, man. Really hard to tell, but it sounds a little too clean to be a live bass, isn't it? What do you guys think, man? Right? Alright, okay, cool. It's really cool. So, next thing, bass rider. Okay, bass rider, just to sort of even out the bass. Okay, let's find out where the spot is. Okay, now I think I need to dial back in the as I said, set and don't forget. Okay, set something, but bear in mind what you remember what you've done in the past, because that can influence, right? I feel I need to dial this back down to 0.3, right? It's starting to, the snare starts to get a bit too pokey, right, when it gets to the loud parts. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, something is going on in the chat. When one hears Marsha, one attends. Spartanker, hey Adam, how are you, man? You're not streaming tonight? You want to come to my stream? You are checking out my stream. I am a noob when it comes to doing these kind of live streams. You are the professional there, right? Say hi to Spartanker, Adam, right? Okay. Used to be one of my interns, so I guess right, it's definitely a better career path now, right, going down in towards the gaming industry instead of music. That's why you don't want to. That's why you don't want to work here and continue in the studio, lah, right? I don't fault you, man. Okay, glad. I'm very happy to see that you and your wife are doing well. I'm just waiting for when are we gonna see here? When am I gonna hear Adam Jr.? Right? Hey guys, all right. So Chris says definitely program. But Jason says it's played. How do you know it's played? All right. Jari got Yang Main. Okay. Okay. Ben's new favorite plugin. What's your new favorite plugin? API? So, so it is played. So it is played by. It's played by who? Ask Buto to play it. Oh, okay. It's very, very clean. You know, I was like thinking, is this programmed or what? Because it sounds absolutely clean, man, and it sounds great the way it is already. So, no EQ on this, just some compression along the way. And Chris says he's like, oh, I'm listening via my laptop speaker. Face palm. Okay, that's perfectly fine, man. That's all right. Okay, all right. So who is who? Any of you guys know who is the behind the team? I know that this was sent to me from Marsha's arranger, Yusuf, right? James. Let me just check and see. Sorry, man. The name's kind of a slap, kind of a escaped my memory. And Yusuf Adam, yeah, Yusuf Adam. Do you guys know who Yusuf Adam is? Is he Sabah based or a producer arranger? Because you know he was the one who sent me the files, lah. Right? Okay. Let me know. All right. I would love to hear the answers. So it is played, huh? Okay, right. Kudos then to whoever played the bass. Okay, amazing. All right, great job there. Okay, so now just gonna make it a little bit more even. Okay. Awesome job, guys. That's all I need. The reason why I said that I suspected it was programmed because I also have these bass slides here. So usually all these bass slides is usually part of the bass sample libraries, you see. Okay, so I'm just gonna slip this in. Okay. Okay, roll off the bottom end on this. Okay, just about there. -9. Okay, bass rider is doing a good job. Okay, I think MV2, a little bit of MV2 will help as well, just to bring out some of the system, especially the quiet parts. Just to give it a bit more sustain. Yep. Lovely. Okay, there we go. That's your main rhythm section down there. Let's go with the piano next, okay? Let's bring in the piano. Again, man, it sounds so wonderful. This piano sounds great already the way it is, and you know, don't need to do much to it. Okay, okay. I'm gonna use the custom EQ. This is kinda Pultec-ish, bro. It's Slate's Digital's kind of their take on what a Pultec is, lah, right? Tuck out a little bit of the 400. Again, sounds great already the way it is, man. Don't need to do much to it. Just brighten it a little bit. Okay, a little bit of the honkiness, right? That's natural. Some of the stuff. A piano by itself, honestly, if you stand in front of a piano and listen to it, you hear all sorts of resonances, one. And if this song was just a vocal and a piano, I'll leave it all in there. Only challenging part is when you talk about, you know, a much more, you know, contemporary production, like when you involve drums, bass, and so many other instruments, then yeah, sometimes you need to EQ the piano to give space, right, for other instruments. But that's why otherwise, but very minimal, okay? And since now Slate Digital has it, FG2A. I'm not pulling out my LA2 UAD anymore, I guess, right? Since this is here. Okay, so usually I love using the LA2A on the piano. Okay, so let's check it out. A bit more. Let's play around with the emphasis. It's so interesting, man. The tone changes. That gives so much more flexibility. Okay, so instead of being it too dark, because if it's flat, it's a bit dark. Because when the bottom end triggers the compressor, it brings everything down, so it makes it a little bit dark as well. So here it's less sensitive to the low frequencies, so it helps retain a bit of the brightness. That's actually very, very cool. Actually, I know this feature actually does exist on the updated versions of the LA2A plugin as well, the UAD. But I have not upgraded to that. So I guess, you know, I've saved myself a couple of $100 this way lah. Okay, right? Since I am on the all access subscription. Touch of reverb, the same reverb that I had on the drums. Just to sit it in the same space. I'm actually tempted to put my hi-hat back again a little bit wider. Let's go. Yeah, I like it that way. All right. Okay, probably a touch of the TDR Nova just to bring the gain some of that mid. About 300 hertz there, so I will just leave this at the default, right? So default here is like 2:1 ratio, 10 millisecond release, so it's a bit more subtle, more gentle, okay? Just gonna tuck down that, you know, that low mid 300 hertz, right, by a couple of dB every time it goes a bit harder. Okay, now I know, right? The hi-hat needs to be automated, okay? Okay, one thing about pianos, I generally don't like pianos to be spanned super wide. Again, it depends on the situation, especially in a slightly busy mix. Because, you know, if you're listening from an audience perspective, unless you are sitting right in front of the piano itself, right, at the player's area, then yes, it sounds wide. But it's so weird to hear a piano that sounds like it's, you know, 20-foot wide piano. That's so unnatural to be. So some of the sample libraries and maybe some of the patches, right, they do that. You know, you get a bit of that stereo enhancement. Yes, it sounds impressive, but it sounds a bit unnatural because it's so wide, it wraps around your head and all that. So I tend to, with pianos, I will tuck it in a little bit, right? So just a little bit, so maybe like about 75, right? To me, it just makes the piano a little bit more solid. And again, it depends. Later on, because you see, I have acoustic guitars, stuff like that, that can, you know, fill up the hard left, hard right, you see. Lovely, 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 lovely. All right, so beautiful sounding. Okay, let's go with acoustic guitar. Now let's plug in the acoustic one by one. Okay, so this one is definitely keyboard, right? Okay, I'm definitely going to use the Nova here. Let's go to where the strum part. At about 1.28, 1.3K, there's a bit of that tiny ring. Okay, so very narrow, just a tiny notch. Okay, just a tiny bit, all right? And this would be, again, one of my favorites. Again, the FG2A. Where are you? Here we go. Let's check it out, okay? Sweet, man. This is so handy to have now. Okay, now another frequency. Be about 720. Just again, very, very gentle lah. Alright. Let's go to the strum parts. Solo again. It's a bit higher actually. Yeah, about 850. Okay. Check it out. Okay, let's copy it over. Alright. Hard left, hard right. Let's link the both. Okay, they are going to the acoustic guitar bus here, yeah? Right, so place where the drums are. So there's something here about 337, 338, 340 hertz. So this is kind of permanently kind of happening all the way. So I'll just use a little notch here. Tiny bit of the same reverb, just give it the same space. Just a little bit. Hang on a second. Now, what's bothering me now is that definitely when it goes to the open hi-hat, the hi-hat's a bit too loud. So let me just deal with that first. Here's fine. Okay, then when it comes here, let me automate that. Okay, starting from that open hi-hat, alright, it needs to be tucked down quite a bit. Quite a bit, actually. Back up. Okay, actually here no more open hi-hats already, right? It's all right, simple. Just leave it there, okay? Some of these toms it automate. A little bit more, louder. Let's give it a bit of reverb to those toms as well, okay? This is, after all, a sweet ballad. Very, very nice. Okay, so let's go on. What's next? Okay, now we got the main rhythm section in. Vocal time. All right. Da, 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 da. Ki-da-da. Da, da, da. Right. Da, 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 da. By the way, I'm looking at you guys in the chat as well. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. So this is actually a new version. I know this was the previously it was released right in da, 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 da. Yeah. This is no. This is I know. This is the same song. This is the same song. I know you guys are super confused. You think I would get the song title wrong and everything? This is a BM version of the song, right? You guys missed it early on when we were listening to the mix track. So yes, this is previously already an old song, but this is a reimagined. I don't know whether this is a new revision, a new mix, or a new arrangement or something like that. But this is recorded in BM, and you guys will check it out lah, because we're gonna go into the vocals right after this. Okay, so first things first, right? What I would love to do with the vocal is let's bring in my usual vocal chain. Which I already have. That's why. Okay, that's why I already have the chain in there. That's why when I was listening to the rough mix, it's like, hey, the vocal sounds pretty good already. So let's listen to this. Okay, so this is the BM version. All right.
Kumohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu, maka usah memendam rasa cinta.
Sound familiar, guys? Right now?
Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu, ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu.
Nice. Okay, so
hapus saja.
okay, now I'm going to just do a little bit of the corrective processing on the EQ. So
bayang-bayang si dia karena kau
okay, there's a bit of that some resonance happening.
temui pengganti dirinya, hapus saja.
About 940, right? At about 940 hertz around there. Okay, let's bring it back down. Now for vocals, right, I would go with a 3:1 ratio. I will select a wide band, okay, because I will have one single, setting of the ratio, attack and release. Attack, go fastest attack, fastest release, okay?
Hayal cintamu itu karena aku di sini sedia bahagiakanmu.
There you go. Yep.
Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu, ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu. Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia karena kau
Okay, great. Let's pull this back in.
udah temui pengganti dirinya, hapus saja.
Okay, let me turn off the virtual mix track and stuff like this first. Okay, I just want to listen to that.
Hayal cintamu itu karena ku di sini sedia
Just at 4K. It's quite typical for, female vocalists and anyone who sings at that higher register there. That's quite typical there. So
bahagiakanmu, yang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya. Oh.
Right. So, right. So, I'm just curious who's producing the song? Who did the arrangement for this? Because is it Jaya? Did you do it? Okay. Because I have no idea. You know, I've just sent the full the mix and let's see. Who was the guy? Yusuf Adam. Who is Yusuf Adam? Okay. Because the person who sent me the files was was Yusuf. Okay. All right. Come on, man! You all guys are putting the comments in there, thinking that I mixed the wrong song or something like that. I already ran through this with Marsha before this. You know, putting all this and all that. I wouldn't be mixing the wrong song, okay? not on the live stream, okay? So I think you were asking that did I track the vocals? No, I did not. Wasn't tracked here. I've wasn't involved in this at all. Okay. Okay, now let's bring this back in. So okay, it's driving it a little bit, giving it a little bit too much of a bite. So let me sort of back off with the trimmer a little bit. Let's back it down by about 6 dB. Okay, let's turn on now my FG stress. This is my parallel chain. Okay, in this case, of course, I will bring this back up.
Kumohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu, maka usah memendam rasa cinta.
Okay, let's
Aku mengerti siksamu.
let's bring the mix
Aku
down.
mengerti cintamu. Ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu. Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya.
Okay, you can bring the high pass to about a little bit higher, 150.
Oh, hapus saja hayal cintamu itu.
Cool, very, very cool.
Karena ku di sini.
Okay, next thing would be sibilance, just to control a bit of the S's.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu.
That low mid does boom a little bit. I might have to deal with it later on, but again, set and don't forget, keep that just trying to keep that in mind as well. Okay, but that kind of happens when you work very close with the mic. You know, you get a bit of that proximity effect. And sometimes it can be a good thing, right? It's kind of bugging me a little bit, but let's just go along with it for now. Okay. All right. After sibilance, this would be our comb, right? This one I am not gonna go. Let's go for the louder part of the song.
Ku mengerti cintamu, ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu. Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia,
Yep, it is bugging me a little bit around that 200 hertz range. So let's put in just another instance of Nova here. Again, this is going to be very gentle.
Hapus saja hayal cintamu itu karena ku di sini
It's better.
sedia bahagiakanmu.
That's a lot better. Okay, so at least the bottom end doesn't jump out so much.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu, maka usah memendam rasa cinta.
Okay, right, cool. Pretty happy with it right now. So let's move on to the next step, and you can pretty much guess what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna do something that I call the vocal thickening trick. Okay, so what it is actually kind of emulating what an old Eventide the H3000 or something. It's one of the effects that it does, but basically it's kind of a little bit of kind of a chorusing, kind of a vocal fattening, vocal thickening preset that used to be on those hardware units lah. Okay, and this is kind of sort of replicating it. Now there are many ways of doing it, right? It doesn't have to be the way that I show. I actually did a video on that again. All right, all those videos you can go to my channel and check it out. So there's one video which really describes in detail how I used to do the vocal thickening trick, and I use it not only with the plugins, I use stock plugins as well to show you that this can be done that way lah. Right, so what happens is it's very simple. I'm going to route the lead vocal into a plugin. Okay, so this plugin that I'm using here is called Waves Doubler. Okay, doubler is, as the name implies, it's, it gives you a double track lah. But you can pan, you can delay, you can modulate, you can add pitch shift to it, some modulation, and also EQ. This is actually the preset setting. This is the default setting. The moment you pull it up, this is the stock setting already. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm sending it through this, and check it out how it sounds. Okay, see, right? Right, it's a nice wide stereo kind of effect. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run it through this and gonna export 1, 2, 3, export 4 different tracks, each one with gradually different levels of detuning. Okay, so in the first one I do it is +3, -3. Okay, I'm not gonna explain so much. Let's just do it. So if you guys want to take a break, this is probably the good time to do it. Right, this will take about a minute to do so. I wish I had Cubase 11 installed right now, because they have something called the export queue. I don't know whether that would help, because now when I have to do this, I have to export it one by one. But Cubase 11 has a feature called export queue, where you can set different export queues and have it run in the background. So if I wanted to do export 4 versions, instead of having to export one, wait, change the settings and do it, they supposedly with the export queue, I can actually set the setting and just put it pop, it will run in the background. All right, super time saver. Now one thing I must remember also, got to bypass all the stereo processing. Okay, let me bypass all that, so that when I bounce, it's not gonna bounce with all the effects lah. So guys, if you guys want to go to toilet break, I know I'm gonna go for a toilet break. Okay, go for it right now. Okay, this will take a couple of minutes. Okay, so let's do the first one. Let's call it doubler +3. Remember, left right, sample rate 48K. Make sure always sampling rate is correct. Create audio track and insert to pool. So yeah, grab a drink, go toilet break or something. We'll see you back in like 2 minutes. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm back. That was quick. That was very fast. Is everyone back from their little toilet break right now? So that was the first one. Let me get this cable out of the way first. So that was +3. Okay, let's repeat the process. Right. Excuse me, I sneezed, so I quickly go and mute my mic first. Okay, otherwise you guys are gonna have a super loud super loud sneeze instead. So let's repeat the process. Let's go now with -6 and +6. Okay, why is my mouse like super sensitive at the moment? Okay, so this would be -6 and export. La, la, la. Okay. Right, I'm just gonna go through the chat again. See what else I missed it. Chris says, crap, my ear is dying. Da da da, give a clean man, Butut bila. Okay. So Butut played this. All right, that's cool. And hey, the bassist is here. Where's the bassist? Oh, hello. Hi. Sorry, man, I missed you in the chat. You know, I'm sorry, guys. All right. I'm not looking at the chat all the time because right, I'm in the mixing. So I'm sorry if I do miss your comments inside there, okay? But that's awesome. Thanks for joining in, man. So the bassist is here. Yeah. All right. Okay. So Jerry said, JD, this song is Tioku. I think you should stream Hapus, right? Ha ha ha. Yeah, okay, right. So definitely, right. This is the correct song, okay, right. This is the BM version, okay, right. Okay, BM Masuda, right. But they would put in a few drama. I don't know about that, okay. So has one Rakam at RAM, okay. I was in KL, I think. Time 2, yes, but only Vox time 2. So only the Vox, okay. Pan 100% or nothing. Yep. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Right. Okay. Defined touches are where the magic is. Here we go. Okay. As I mentioned, vocals. I didn't track the vocals. So, hi, Zaif. Zaif, right. Hey, Zaif. Thanks for joining in here. Right. Very, very cool. Zaif, you asked what string that I use. Now, if you are talking about this production, this project, I don't know. I wasn't the producer. I didn't arrange a song. I'm just mixing it. But what I use something that's fairly simple and funny, inexpensive. I use a Miroslav Philharmonic, and even the first version, right? It's not even the Philharmonic 2, which has been out for a couple of years already. I'm still using Philharmonic. I think it's a great value for money. Sample library, orchestral sample library. Really, really liked it. I've used it for quite a long time. It's really, really served me a number of years already. Okay. I do have a couple of others, but yeah, the main one that I use is actually Miroslav Philharmonic. Okay. So, I like how the preamp and the VMR is redlining but not distorting. But yeah, it was kind of giving a bit of too much hair to the vocals, which not necessarily, right? It might be good if it's a more aggressive kind of a song. It's good maybe in the rock tracks, which I usually do lah. But this is bad. I want it to be a little bit cleaner. Let's see. All right. So Jaya said, I think Yusuf is the one who asked for the audio stems months ago. Since they want to re-record this song in BM. Okay, right. Music arrangement was by you. Okay, that's great, man. Awesome work. All right. So, as I said, right, mixing is 70%, 80% about the choice of sounds and the arrangement. All right. You have a good arrangement, you have a good choice of sounds and good players. The song literally just mixes itself. I don't have to do much here, right? Just balance, pull things up, and then that's it, man. Okay. So, yeah. And hey, Phoebe, right? Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining in again. Right? While I'm chatting, I chat until I forgot that this has already been exported. Let's do another one. Okay, 2 more to go, right? So this is +9 minus 8 minus 9. Okay, it doesn't really matter that much lah. Okay, my eyes. Okay, I need bigger screens already. I already upgraded to like bigger monitors now. Now I need bigger monitors for my eyes, man. Sudah tua lah. Okay. Thanks for joining, Jay. Thanks for joining. Okay, Phoebe. All right. Awesome. I hope you guys are all doing well. This is like a Sabah KK kind of a party going on in here, right? Right. This is with a song by a Sabahan singer, right? By Marsha. Okay. Da da da. Chris says I need to chow. Okay lah. All right. Thanks, Chris, for joining in. Right. Thanks for helping me out with the audio edits as well. Okay. Okay, cool. Right, so pretty much caught up with all that. Hey guys, if you haven't done so, right, if you've liked what you're seeing so far, if this has been useful, if it's been informative, please do leave a like on this video. Share this, even though now it's being live streamed. Share this later, okay, and spread it around as much as possible. I would appreciate as well if you guys are watching, if you are not a subscriber, what are you waiting for, man? Please go down there, click on the subscribe button. What are you waiting for? Okay, almost there. That's +9 minus 9. Last one, let's go to -12 +12. Almost there. Okay, this would be the last one. Jom kita export. Okay, very cool. So Ben said pakai Studio One. Cubase is about 3K, right? Next year. Right. Ben. Now, if you didn't know, actually, if you go on those overseas international websites, here's my secret lah. If you don't want to wait for a sale, go and look for those websites. They actually sell those educational packs. Okay, educational pack is going to be about 1,600, 1,500, maybe around that price. Okay, let me show you. Now here's my tip, right? So if you don't want to pay the full retail price, you want to save, not say don't want, you want to save some money, go to those online websites, especially those in the US, but check those that do ship to Malaysia lah, right? Some of them don't ship outside to Malaysia, but check it out. You can actually get these boxed versions. Education edition. Education license, 100% fully functional, like a full license, but it's at an educational price. Look, when you buy and you click and you order it from them, they don't ask you to show your, they don't bother to ask you to show your student ID or stuff like that, or all that. You just, with your credit card, click and buy and order, then they ship it to you. So, if you want it, they can do it. So, but this is Cubase 5. This was long time ago. So I got a very good deal. This is, I think, 1,600 je, right? So, you want to save some money? That's my trick tip lah for you. Okay, go and buy an educational copy. Okay, good. Let's move back on to the vocal. Now let's blend in the. Okay, let's blend back the all the doubler tracks. Where is it? So many. Okay, let's remember to bring the lead vocal back to the. Alright, let's bring it back to the bus. Let's just blend it in and see, okay?
Kumohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu, maka usah memendam rasa cinta.
Okay, just a tiny touch.
Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu, ku tak sanggup lagi.
So you see the double tracks, right? Let's listen to it. Just gives that little bit of a wide and little bit of that shine, a little bit of sheen on the vocal.
Hapus saja.
Okay, let's having it exported also gives me flexibility to EQ it further. So let's just EQ it. Take out all the bottom.
Bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya.
At about 820. That 820 hertz seems to be rearing its ugly head around. So again, it could be something right? Something is triggering that resonance on all these on all the frequencies. Okay, so let's link the doubler tracks.
Hapus saja hayal cintamu itu.
Beautiful, man. Okay, right. Great vocal control. Everything is fantastic. Everything sounds awesome. Just makes my job so easy. Okay, now let's slap on the next thing. Would be this compressor.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan ceritamu, maka usah memendam rasa cinta. Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cinta.
Okay, now let's move on. Next thing I'm going to put in would be this pull tech. So pull tech is it's a legendary EQ. So this is going to be before the compressor, okay, before the 1176. So I'm going to just want to bring a little bit of that air to the Marsha's vocal, okay?
Ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu.
A bit more attenuation.
Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya.
Okay, now a second de-esser down here just to tuck out some of that, because all the compression brings out all those S's and all the low level stuff. So the second de-esser just to catch
Ku
everything.
mohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu, maka usah memendam rasa cinta.
Not much, okay? Just a little.
Aku mengerti siksamu, aku
Okay, maybe the 6 samu there is a bit too much. Let's bring it down.
Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cinta.
Right, next one, let's pull up the vocal rider. Okay, this is, just going to...
Cintamu, ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu.
Let's go to the start again.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita
Let's compensate it by 1.5 dB.
lalu, maka usah memendam rasa cinta. Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu, ku tak sanggup lagi.
Okay, now a bit of MB2 just to bring out some of the lower detail.
Melihat tangisanmu itu, hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya. Hapus
And
saja.
okay, and what we're gonna do, let's bring in the fresh air. All right, let's see how this you know what this does to the vocal, okay?
Hayal cintamu itu karena ku di sini sedia bahagiakanmu.
That is lovely, man. Just a tiny touch of it.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu.
It is a little bit louder, so trim this down.
Usah memendam rasa cinta. Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu. Ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu. Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya. Oh, hapus saja hayal cintamu itu.
Not sure whether I'm doing it or overdoing it a little bit too much, but let's just keep it there for time being, okay? Let's put in a bit of effects. Make it sound like she's in a nice, expensive room using my super tap.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu. Maka usah memendam rasa cinta.
Okay, now let's add a bit of mono delay.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu,
It's a bit of ducking.
usahanya dengan cerita lalu. Maka usah memendam rasa cinta. Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu.
Let's go with the reverb now. Okay, so the reverb that I'm using is the EMT 140. Let's switch it over to alto. Let's start with this starting point. Smoky alto. Then we bring the EQ back down. Pre-delay a bit further up.
Ku tak sanggup lagi.
Okay, now I feel that maybe on the vocal it doesn't really need lah. Okay, that fresh air, especially on the quiet bits. Let's just bypass that for now. Okay, because with the EQ and all that, it's sounding good already.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu,
Let's blend in the reverb.
usahanya dengan cerita lalu. Maka memendam rasa cinta.
Oh, I'm sorry, right? You guys can't see it because I'm doing it on the other screen. Let me just pull it up here so you can see what I'm doing. Mute the delay for a second.
Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu. Ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu.
So some of this breathing, right, because of all the EQ and all the compression has come up quite a lot. So what I need to do, oh, this is not being sent. Okay, this is not being routed here. Maybe that's why. Okay, let's double check it right now. Let's check it again, okay, and see how it sounds. So I was saying, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought over there. Okay, let's just go on, okay? Oh, that's more like it. I was wondering what was missing. Okay, so some of the breaths, right, as I mentioned, some of the compression is like really bringing out all that. So while it's desirable to have all that in there, it might be a little bit too much. So what I will do later on, okay, is I will usually, right, just with simple editing, right, super simple editing, do like a little bit more fades here and there to control some of the fades, the breaths. So yeah, we're gonna take out and remove some of those. Not take it out. You still want it there because you give a much more intimate feel, right? you listen like to a lot of modern current records. You see, you hear that the breathing is sometimes really up in your face, man. Okay, so to me, it's a much more intimate vocal that way. So to sterilize it too much, so it's too clean.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu, maka usah memendam rasa cinta.
Okay, I want to put in a kind of a standard little compressor here. Let's go with maybe 4:1 ratio. No auto makeup. Side chain. I want to side chain this reverb to the vocal. And the reason for that is I kind of want the vocal to bloom out a little bit. So instead of jumping out, oh, hang on a second. Should it be here? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we'll just chuck it here. That's perfectly fine. Okay, let's go back to the reverb again, the side chain, and let's check it out. Okay.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu, maka usah memendam rasa cinta. Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti.
That's so funny, man, when I turn out the auto. Let's not go with the auto, okay?
Di cintamu, ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu. Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah.
Okay, just side chaining the compressor so that when the vocal is there, it pushes the reverb a little bit back. But whenever the vocal stops and there's space for it, okay, the reverb all comes back out again. Okay, so this gives it a little bit more, cleans it up a little bit, okay.
Temui pengganti dirinya, oh, hapus saja.
Okay, now again with all that processing, sometimes some of the frequencies get a bit exaggerated. So
Hayal cintamu,
okay, about 4.4K. So this one again gentle. This one a lot more gentler. So just use the default settings.
ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu di cinta. Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya, oh, hapus saja hayal cintamu itu, karena ku di sini sedia bahagiakanmu.
Let's check it out. Where else could that be coming? Let's EQ the reverb a little. 1K.
Dirinya, oh, hapus saja hayal cintamu itu, karena ku di sini sedia bahagiakanmu.
Let's listen again.
Mohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu, maka usah memendam rasa cinta.
Okay, right. The feedback on the mono delay should be a little bit less. Let's bring it down to just under 20%.
Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu,
Now, so when I get to the chorus, right, I'm going to pump in a stereo delay.
Melihat tangisanmu itu,
3, 4.
hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya. Oh, hapus saja hayal cintamu itu, karena ku di sini sedia bahagiakanmu.
Okay, alright. So coming out of the
Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu, ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu.
okay, turn the kick down just a notch.
Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau
Then back to let me automate all the vocals first.
baik. Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau
Let's bring the stereo delay a little bit wider.
udah temui pengganti dirinya. Oh, hapus saja hayal cintamu itu, karena ku di sini sedia bahagiakanmu.
Okay, let's do a little bit of rough automation. Okay, let's go with the start again.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hati.
Usually when I get to this stage, I will usually switch over to the NS10s. Maybe that's what I'll do. Okay, let me just switch over to my Yamaha NS10s for a quick while. Right. So, right. Usually when I want to judge vocal balances, that's why I switch over to, a smaller pair of speakers. Okay. Not sure whether you guys can see. Let me just turn the camera around. Right. Okay. So, yeah. Now the light is obviously a bit too bright now. It's shining in your face. Okay. It's a bit too bright, so you can't see it. Right. So very briefly, you could see, right? I have my bigger speakers, which are the Cali LP8s, and then I have another pair of Yamaha NS10s. So now I'm listening on the NS10s just to see how the vocals sit.
Mohon bukalah Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu,
Oh, so much
usahanya
easier
dengan
to
cerita
balance the vocals this way.
maka usah memendam rasa cinta. Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu, ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu.
I suspect the chorus needs to bump up.
Hapus saja.
Yeah, about 1 dB.
Hapus saja bayang-bayang si
In fact, more like 1.5 dB actually. So these are very broad brushstrokes first, yeah?
dia.
Later on, all the automation, I'm going to go in word by word, syllable by syllable to automate all those things. That will be a little bit more fine detail at the second stage of mixing.
Karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya. Oh, hapus saja.
That's right.
Hayal cintamu itu, karena ku di sini
last two lines a little bit soft. FDB. Okay, the karanamu di sini, half dB. Okay, back down to 0. Let's see how it sounds. This little ad lib. Too soft. Bring it up. dB, G4, and then down. Snares down by just a tiny touch, 1 dB. And then the chorus, pump it back up. Solo, balance this one. Lovely, man. Definitely gonna put a lot of reverb and delay there. Let's put this up. A bit of resonance. Okay, now, guys, do you remember where was this recorded? You guys recorded the vocal, right? I do notice that, you know, that she backs off when she sings. I am personally, I'm not a fan of doing that. The thing is that when in live situation, yes, vocals, very good vocalists, when they have good mic control and the mic technique, they know how to pull it. But there's one disadvantage to doing that. When you pull back from a mic, the tone changes. So I do have a little bit of issue, a little bit of a problem here with the tone of the vocal, because different lines, especially here when you get to the ad lib, the tone is changing. There's so much more of the room. There's so much more of the, you know, in the front you can see that it's fat, very intimate, close. But now I have to deal and put in a little bit more work to deal with it lah. So when I sing, when I record, my approach to recording vocals is, right, again, take care of your gain structure. When the vocal belts out, don't ask them to pull back, right? If your gain is too high, it's too hot, turn the gain down, right the fader, right the input levels, right? If it's necessary to turn down the gain. When I do, again, this is probably a topic for another day lah, right? Recording vocals. When I record vocals, I have my finger on my input knob all the time. I know the song. I know when the part there the singer's going to right belt out. I tweak it down. Okay. So there's a book which there's this author which I recommend. Right, he's got a great take on recording vocals. His name is Michael Stavro. The book that he's famous for is called Mixing with Your Mind. But on many concepts, this was one of the things he talked about, riding the gain. And in the days of analog and tape, this was very common. You ride the gain because, right, you definitely do not want to overload and overdrive the tape. You see, so same thing here. Anyway, here we go. See the. Something's weird is going on there. Okay, let me double check and see what in the world is going on there. Okay, something funny is happening. Something weird is happening. Okay. Oh, that's what's happening. The foreman got shifted. That's why something weird. Why did that note suddenly sound so different? Right? Lovely. Bring this up. Bring this up back 2 dB. Turn down the delay on the end. Sweet, okay? So as you can see, this is kind of roughly, right, what I have over here. The rough gain structure, right, dynamics of the lead vocal. I will go down and fine tune all this stuff later as well, okay? Right, but this usually happens at a later stage. I usually don't show this because it's a long, tedious process. It takes a very long time to do. Okay, I'm going in word by word, syllable by syllable, every single word. I'll be automating up, down, just to make sure the vocal really sits there every step of the way. Again, vocal needs to be king. Vocal needs to be the it's the one that the listener is going to fixate on and capture on. If your vocal gets too buried, if you lose the vocal, you lose the listener. That's a very important thing. That's how important the vocal is, right, in any sort of song and in any sort of a production. Okay, cool. So that is the overall vocal. I'm gonna take next thing. I'm going to slap on ring next. I'm going to switch back to the main speakers. Okay. Next most important thing would be the BVs. Okay. Now, I am not putting in all the strings and all that yet, because again, like I said, vocal is king. Vocal is important. I would rather mix in the vocal, make the vocal sound great, make everything else support the vocal, support the mix. So I think this approach will really help improve your mixes as well. Well, maybe lah. This is a suggestion. All right, try to bring in the vocal as early as possible. So as you see, after I've done with the drums, the bass, the main rhythm instruments, I skip everything else. All these effects, all the fancy stuff. Set it aside first. Concentrate on making the vocal great, making it awesome, and then everything else will fall into place. Because if you mix all the music in, you do everything and make it sound great, sometimes you find that all the music stuff, wow, it sounds fantastic, but it has taken up all the space. And then when it's time to mix in the vocal, you mix the vocal at the end, you have to fight. You have to EQ the vocal very drastically. You have to apply very drastic processing, and because you're trying to make the vocal compete and fight with the rest of the music. So instead of that, bring the vocal in early, mix it in early, and let the music complement and support the vocal. Okay, So this is kind of what I'm approaching. So instead of that, the next thing that's important would be all these vocals, because it's carrying the melody at the end. Again, melody is king, man. So let's bring this in. I have my same vocal paramedic chain, my vocal chain here. Let's take a look at these BVs, okay?
Hapus saja
Okay, so this one is just doing a unison. Take out all the bottom end.
bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya. Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia,
It's about 870, something there.
karena kau dah
Take off all the top end.
temui pengganti dirinya.
4.4K, right? That's probably, that's around where Marsha's voice has got that bit of that resonance there, lah, right? So it's just there to clean it up. Okay, so copy over to the other one. Let's check it out.
Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui penggantinya. Hapus saja bayang.
Oh, okay, hold on a second. All right, I'm supposed to put in the bus for the BVs. Here we go. All right. And let's listen to it.
Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya.
Okay, let's go in with the harmony, the higher harmony. Same thing. Let's bring in my vocal chain. Right. Solo it first.
Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah.
Not much, okay? Not much. I don't think I need to do much on this. So for these, right, the higher harmonies, let's pan them hard left, hard right. Send them all to the BV group, BV bus.
Temui pengganti dirinya.
Listen again.
Hapus saja
Let's put a delay.
bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya.
Okay, just a wide little EQ dip at about 4K.
Hapus saja bayang-bayang
Send it to the same reverb.
dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya.
Right. Okay, same thing. Let's chuck in an instance of vocal rider. So vocal rider will work great even for group vocals like this. But again, super gentle setting, smooth, right? Okay, this is all gonna be very subtle.
Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya.
A bit more.
Hayal cintamu itu, karena ku di sini sedia bahagiakanmu.
Very sweet, man. Sweet. Okay, one more vocal part. This is like a high part. Let's check it out. Let's see what this is doing. This is like a high harmony, super high harmony. Okay, again, let's take out all the bottom, take out all the top. Lovely. Okay, let's bring in with the vocal ad-libs. Alright, okay, sweet. So there's this little reverse piano thing going on. Sweet little cool effect, man. Well, let's try playing around with it. Let's give it a bit of a pan, okay? Okay, let's do this and let's see what happens. Interesting. It sounds like the reverb is all on the left and the direct sound is on the right. So, okay, let me try this. Okay, let's merge this first so that we get it. Yeah, here we go. Okay, I think this is a little bit more interesting. Let's go with, instead of okay, not all the way, let's say from about 75 to around here. Let's see how it sounds. Okay, listening. Let's go all the way then. All the way. Okay, let's just set it for now, for the time being, okay? And to see how it goes. Lovely. Okay, next one. Distortion guitars. Same thing. Let's go with, okay, let's check it out. Okay. If there's anything, distortion guitars are a little, okay, a bit too comb filtery for my liking, but you know, that's me as a guitar player lah. You know, it sounds like it's like in a corridor, you know, it's like in a narrow corridor, like that sort of a sound, not a direct sound. But that's fine. In the context of the song, it's going to be there just to support and give it a bit of weight anyway. But let me try something. Let me just run it maybe to an IR. Okay, so sometimes this really helps. Let's go with the overloud, guitar, THU, slight. And what I'm going to do is just run it through a cab or something like that, right? Just to give it a bit of that immediacy. Because it's a bit, I don't know, to me, it's not a good tone. Okay, I'm sorry for from a guitarist point of view. Okay, let's just chuck in, just chuck in any of these cabinets. Let's just see. Sounds better already. Wow, and that could be me being judgmental lah. Let's listen to that. That's an angle. Let's change it with a different. Let's go with a. Oh no, let's change with. Okay, right. Okay, let's put it about here. Let's copy it over. Let's see how it sounds, okay? Okay. Okay, probably needs a bit of EQ. Let's go with an API EQ. Well, I'm still not really happy with the distortion sounds, but fortunately, in the context of a ballad, right, it's just there to provide a little bit of weight, okay, not there to be like in your face like a rock track lah. Very cool. So next, let's move on. What else is there? Okay, let's go on with all the other stuff now. So now it's time to add in all the fancy things. Let's bring in the electric piano at the start. Very even. So again, I don't really know. Let's see, we need anything. Okay, that's perfectly fine actually. But let's chuck in maybe some effects just to give it a bit of motion. All right. So what I'm gonna do is let's put in a little tremolo, just a little bit, okay? Yeah, so it's got a bit of that modulation going on. Where are we? Okay, there we are. Go. Yeah, so it's got a bit more interesting movement to it. Lovely. Okay, let's bring in some of these electronic kicks, alright? Here we go. Very nice.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita.
Around about 21. Okay, let's bring in more stuff. Okay, bell tree. Bell tree, bell tree. Don't need all the bottom end. Let's give it a bit more of that reverb. Let's just see. Yeah, it just helps to sit it all in the same space with the rest of the instruments. Let's go again. Doesn't need to be that loud, just a little bit. Swells.
Ku mohon bukalah.
Same thing, let's give it that reverb. Sit it in the... Okay, it's got a bit of an annoying thing at 5.5K, so smoothen it out.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu,
Lovely.
usahanya
Then there's little effects. Then that's where we bring in all this ear candy.
Ku mohon bukalah. Ku mohon bukalah. Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu.
Let's just leave it there first.
Usahanya dengan
Next time we have a little pad here. Let's see what we can do with this pad. Nice.
Ku mohon bukalah.
Again, great choice of sound. So, what do I need to do? I don't need to do much. A bit more. So this pad is just going to sit underneath. Well, you don't really notice it, but if I mute it, then you feel that something's missing.
Ku mohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu.
Okay, let's add on a couple more stuff.
Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia karena kau.
Okay, so this little... Okay. So it's like a clave and then a little triangle like with the effects delay. Okay, but the triangle is a little bit soft, so let's... Now, the easy way is actually to split it up, but let's use MV2 to just bring up the soft bits. Okay, let's do that. There we go. Let's listen in context first, okay?
Saja bayang-bayang si dia karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya. Oh, hapus saja hayal cintamu itu karena aku di sini sedia bahagia
Nice.
kamu.
Okay, this little steel guitar line. Okay. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. This little, here we go. Just take out all the bottom end. Bit of it is okay actually.
Mengerti. Oh,
think I would love again. Right, MV2 is great, fantastic for all these plucked lines and plucked stuff, because you can decide whether you want to bring up more sustain or the without affecting the original transient. Yeah. Okay, a little bit of the top end. Let me just put in a loop first. Nice, okay, very good. Let's jump to the solo. Alright, solo, man. Okay, solo is also a really, really cool part. Let's dump in the... Okay, here we go. So these solos, I have also bussed them to a group. We are pretty much almost there, man. Only the strings left, okay? Let's check out. Lovely. Okay, so let's check out the solo. Solos, again, is one of the favorite places for me to put MV2 to good use. Okay. Let's EQ a bit first. Okay, we don't need all that bottom. Nice. So it's got some effect on it, like the phaser or something like that going on. So I don't mind it being that, man. So I think it makes it cool, right? It makes it a little bit different. So instead of having one that's really, really solo, it's kind of a little bit spread out. That's perfectly cool, man. All right. Okay, so take out the 4.6, so there's a bit of there. So this gives at least the vocal some space. Okay, let's try to bring the solo in a little bit more to the middle instead of hard left, hard right. Let's check it out. Actually, I think I prefer it to be more middle, okay? But I'm going to reintroduce a little bit of that stereo-ness by putting in the... Okay, this is what I really love to use. This is by a company called Acon Digital. It's called Multiply. Also kind of like a chorusing, doubling kind of a plugin. Vintage lead, okay? This is one of the presets, so I just need to blend this in. Okay, because this also gives it a bit of... So I think I prefer it to be a little bit more middle and have this sort of spread this out instead, okay? Right. It gives me a bit more control over how wide I want it instead of just sending it left, right, right? Yeah, it feels a little bit more meat to it. I think I need to bring the hi-hat down just a tiny touch again. Check out the timpani. Again, this sounds a bit too much reverb on this though, but that should be okay. Alright, let's move on. Last thing, almost there, man. Last thing would be just to add on the strings, okay? So, strings. What do we do with strings? Let's check out maybe the first violins first, okay? So, this was originally sent to me, you know, like in a stereo mix, but I asked for all the separate ones. So, later on, I pieced it back together, all the first violin parts, all the different sections, okay? So, let's check it out. First of all, first violin. Okay, now, so what I would do with strings is I have a something I call here. So this is similar. It's almost the same preset that I have, right? Except that I make sure with strings is as clean as possible. So I turn the virtual drive on the FD73 all the way down, and what I have here is Wave C4 stereo. So this is, again, it's a preset that's already there, although I tweak it, right, accordingly. So this is what we call an upward compressor. It's something that's similar to what MB2 is doing. Actually, MB2 is actually trying to emulate this lah. So this helps to bring out all the low level T2, because sometimes with strings, some of the articulation gets lost when there's a busy mix like this, when there's a lot of stuff going on. So this helps to maintain the string level very evenly lah. Okay, so let's check it out. Okay, all right. So let's play with this intro. So I have this, and we're just going to EQ it. So with strings, violins, don't need all the bottom. Okay, you have that note. That 1K is kind of poking out, you know, the honkiness. Okay, and usually even with strings, .8, yeah, it's a bit annoying there. Let's blend it in and see. Okay, that's cool. So next would be the tremolos. Let's check out the tremolos part. It's very strange. This is very mono. Why is that so? This is all... It's very weird. Why is this one very mono? It's so weird. Okay, that's fine though. It's okay. Let's go on with another part. tremolos usually don't need to do much, right?
Bayang-bayang si dia.
Let's blend it in. Very cool. Okay, let's check out the cellos. Right, these are the ensemble cellos. Same thing. Right. Let's bring this up. Okay, bit of that honkiness. It's around 1K. I wonder why. Is it? Could be again. Could be the string sample. This particular sample has got that honkiness there. That's caused by the either the reverb or the. Okay, don't need that. That's fine. Yeah, just remove that 1K. Now cellos, I would tend to pan them a little bit to the right. Because traditionally, right, in the orchestra, that's where the cello is seated, right? It's off to the right hand side. Let's blend it in. Nice. Okay. So all of these again are being bussed and grouped to strings. So let me just load up again, I have another sort of here. Now, I still have this LE2A here, but let's just leave it there lah, okay? Poor thing. Alright, with FG2A, you know, the LE2 is getting less and less use. Okay, now last one would be the cello staccatos. Let's check this out. This only happens here and at the end only, so that's very simple. Nice, okay, yeah, just nice staccato strings here. Something at about 2.2K. It's where we get the bit of the rosin of the rosin sound, this scrapey rosin sound of strings. Here we go. So let's turn on the LE2A on the group.
Kumohon bukalah ruang hatimu, usahanya dengan cerita lalu, maka usah memendam rasa cinta. Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu, ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu.
Okay, let me dip the vocal down. So here again, I'm going to switch over to the NS10s for a quick while, right? Just to balance the strings. Alright, okay.
Memendam rasa cinta.
Okay, it needs to go down a bit.
Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu, ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu. Hapus saja.
Now the piano actually now sounds a little too.
Kumohon bukalah ruang.
Let me just tone down the piano a little bit now. Okay, Let's bring the piano down. Let me bring the electric piano up. Tiny touch EQ just to brighten that electric piano. Okay, nice. So coming into the chorus. So once I've set the overall balance of the strings, right, I will just automate it, right, on the group.
Ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu. Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui di dirinya.
Check it out again. Okay, but there are times where I may need to fine tune, and here in this instance I think the cello needs to go up. Here, let's bring this up.
Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu. Ku tak
Not by a lot, just a tiny bit. Just give it a bit more bend.
tangisanmu itu. Bayang-bayang si dia.
Yeah, otherwise you see all the high strings tend to take up the space. Standing by for the pizzicato part.
Hayal cintamu itu, karena ku di sini sedia bahagiakanmu.
Hold on now. Let's automate a bit more. So first half, that's fine.
Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti.
Yeah, so halfway it goes up, right? Let's bring in the pizzicato. Check the EQ. Don't need all the bottom. Okay, let's bring that in. Basically kind of unison with the guitar thing anyway, right? So it just functions as a unit. This one, I feel this vocal just needs about half dB up, because now you have the strings in. So this section, the strings are up, because the vocals are up, everything is up. Could be a bit lower though. Yeah, I think it still works better if it's down here. Oops, a little glitch. here. Going into solo. Check what the string's doing. Yeah, we even tuck it down further. Okay, I think I'll do it here using the automation on this channel. Yeah, the cellos need to be really up there. Bring the strings back up, I think. Okay, strings will need to go back up to its original level. 3 dB up. A touch lower actually, like maybe 17. So now the BVs are a little bit buried already now since we bring in all the guitars and stuff, right? Say okay, set and don't forget, man. Bring the gain back up on. Probably need to automate a little bit. Okay now. I'm just going to tuck in these crashes just a little bit, just to give it a bit of size, yeah? Just see how it goes. Nice, okay. Just to kind of subtly, you know, enhance the crashes. things which I might want to tweak later on would be the timpani. I might have to find something else that replace it. I'll go and look in. I'll use my own sample library to enhance it, because this is way too much reverb. It's too far back. So there's no immediacy at all. You can't hear the articulation of the timpani. It's more of just like a little mass of sound, like a little rumble, a little raw in the background. So yeah, these are the things which sometimes I will sometimes take the liberty of doing. So even if I bring it up, it's just too much ambience. Sweet, very, very cool. Now, if you notice, one thing which I kind of skimmed over, right, was dealing with the master bus processing. So if you notice, when I was doing a lot of the more rock-oriented tracks, very early on, I would usually, after the main rhythm section is done, I would really go with the master bus. But again, with a ballad, treatment is totally different. Okay, so my approach to it, I would usually keep the master as minimal as possible. But here's probably a good time to go and take a look and just tweak and see what we can add on. Okay, right. So this is just to help to give it a bit of the finishing touches. So right. Again, if you want to check out how I described my whole template, right, of my project, there's a video which I did again in the channel, the Cubase project template, right. So what we're gonna do here is going with Wave C4. Okay, the first thing I have actually is this EQ. This is the AUC's Air EQ. This is adding a tiny touch of air at 1 dB. Very, very, very subtle. Okay. I might add a bit of earth, right? So let's just leave it at the moment. I don't think we need it. Okay, it doesn't need to. I mean, don't need to have that super sub heavy, right, for this sort of song. Okay, so let's go with this section, right, the loud parts. This is where one with C4 here. This is a multi-opto mastering setting. This is just going to touch, right, a tiny massage the frequencies, just a tiny touch. Just bring the threshold down. So you see, just barely dancing, barely moving. That's all I want it to do, okay? Okay, now here is where we have to be careful. All right, usually when I'm mixing let's say a rock track or something a little bit more aggressive, I will already be mixing into this to get a little bit of the bus compression going on. But at the moment, it's not doing anything, and honestly, it sounds great already. So I'm going to try and do what I normally do with the bus compressors, but I have to be very, very careful and bear in mind that I'm not making it worse. Okay. Very, very careful about that. So here we go. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to increase the threshold, so each of these compressors, right, and when they run in series, okay, in this change which I have, they are not going to be doing more than 1 dB of gain reduction. Just a tiny touch, right? We don't want to squeeze this kind of a mix, you see. So we just check it out. Just barely moving the needle. Okay, then I'll move on to the next one. This would be the FG Red. You can see this is mostly going to kick in only when you got the kick and the snare, so it also kind of helps to compress the drums a little bit, right? Okay, cool. I like what it's doing so far. Good. Right, it's not choking the low end, which is what I'm very, very worried about lah, if I overdo this. So these are all in series. All these compressors are just doing a little bit of work, a tiny bit of work, right? Not having to work so hard. Next thing I have, right? These are stuff in a virtual mix rack. It's usually already there already. You can always check it out again in the tutorial video which I did. But okay, let's add on a bit of the secret sauce. Now, what I've been doing recently and lately is, and loving this a lot, right, is the SPL iron. This comes with plugin Alliance. So there's a setting here which is mix bus, right? Self-explanatory. But the great thing about this is actually an MS processor. I'm doing this as an MS, okay? So this compressor is lovely. This is just amazing as a mastering compressor, right? So again, this is not going to be doing anything. It's barely going to be touching the needles, okay? But what I'm going to do, because this is MS, the compression, right, is going to be the way this is going to add makes the mix a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, because the compression is different for the mid and the sides. Okay, but first of all, let me take away all the output compensations. Let's take this out. This needs to be compensated back down. Just listen to it, okay? Let's have a listen. Let me bring up back to my main speakers. Bypass. Sweet, lovely, okay? It's just adding that tiny bit of that magic dust. Okay, now this is another thing I'm adding is something which I've learned. Again, I picked up watching some mastering engineers do this. This is an API 560. This is a graphic EQ, the UAD version. This is not doing anything at all. It is doing something, right? You actually get a little bit of slight gain boost, but EQ wise, it's nothing. It's just running it through the circuitry. Okay, so I've been loving this, okay. It's just somehow it makes the center, it just makes it slightly more solid, just running through this as some, funky secret behind there, man. Okay. Now, so the question is, do we add in the fresh air or not? Now, I've been doing this recently with some mixes and I really love it. But let's check this in. Okay, let's check this out and see whether this is good. Okay. Fresh air. Let me adjust the trim back down by about 0.91 dB. Just add in the tiny touch. Let's start with the start. It's very interesting. Sounds great, man. Bypass.
Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu, ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu.
Little less on this.
Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya.
wait till the part where the music starts.
Hayal cintamu itu, karena ku di sini sedia bahagiakanmu. Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu.
Okay, this part, just need to automate this percussion up.
Aku mengerti siksamu, aku mengerti cintamu. Ku tak sanggup lagi melihat tangisanmu itu. Hapus saja bayang-bayang si dia, karena kau dah temui pengganti dirinya.
Too much.
Hapus saja hayal cintamu itu, karena ku di sini sedia bahagiakanmu.
Okay. Okay, it chokes a little bit on the downbeat, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do with it. Okay, maybe just something that's kind of choking there. So going into this last chorus, I'm gonna automate the bass just a tiny touch of shelving at 100 at 1 dB. Kick in. There's a little bit of a sucking in on the downbeat, but again, I have to check and see which one is what is causing it lah. Something could be causing it, or some other thing. Okay, let me check. It could be most likely it's the bus compressor. Okay. Da da da. Usually it would be the first one, because first one is the most aggressive. Let's take out the high pass filter. It's a bit better, slightly better. Let's bring it about 80 hertz. Slightly better, yeah, a little bit better, right? So sometimes you feel that your low end is being choked too much by the compressor, right? It could be because of the high pass filter lah. And wow, I'm pretty happy, man. We are almost pretty much there already. Last thing I will do is just a little bit of volume automation on the master going into this very last chorus. Okay, so it's a very common trick which I do in most songs you see. All right, very common where you automate the master, so that when you kicks into the master, you pump it up by half dB, 1 dB or so. For me, I like 1 dB. But in this kind of song arrangement, right, because it starts quiet, right, and it builds up gradually, you see that I don't do it that much. But I leave it only for the very end. So I'm just going to show you where I'm going to do it. Okay, so here we go. After the solo. This is going to be very subtle, yeah. So right here. So you got a bit of a 6/4 time here. So right on the downbeat, this is going to up. Very subtle, up by just 1 dB. other things which I think I need to automate. Let's check out what's. Even things like the timpani and everything, once I get it better, I think, once I replace this, it will definitely sound a lot better. All right. Hey, that's almost pretty much that's it, man. So, that probably, I'm really happy with it. This is what I say, this would probably be about 80%, maybe 85%, close to 90 done. Very happy with it. So most of the things that I'm showing you here, these are more of the broad strokes at the start lah. So what usually happens is that I will go back, I'll give my ears a little bit of rest, go back and listen again, maybe tomorrow, another day. Usually what I do, even at this stage, I'll probably do one quick bounce, right? A quick export of the file, take it around and sort of listen to it. So I give myself maybe until next day. I'll come in again, right? The next afternoon tomorrow, and right, fine tune and tweak it a little bit more. So vocal wise, there's so much more of the automation done and all that. Okay, so once and then finally after that, then only it's finished. But this is pretty much right. I'm really happy again. Right, a great job right by the production team, everyone involved. Arrangement is great. It makes my job so much easier, right? And of course, right, without having not mentioning the awesome vocal that was delivered by Marsha, of course. She's without fail, she's always been awesome and delivering great vocals all this while. Okay, so great, right? So that pretty much wraps it up for this episode of a MixStream. Before we wrap up, we'll listen to it one more time. But again, right, if you found this video informative, right, and if you really enjoyed it, please do leave a like, okay? All right, thank you so much, guys, for joining in this live stream. Everybody out there, I really do appreciate it. Continue to stay safe, take care of your health, take care of your hygiene, right? All right. Don't let circumstances and situations get you down. Get out there, okay, right? Get things going. Keep on making music. Keep on recording. Keep on mixing. Don't let COVID, don't let MCO, all right, hold you guys back, okay? Now, if you haven't done so already, or if you're watching this, all right, later on in the replay, all right, if you haven't done so, please head on down and click and become a subscriber to the YouTube channel. Okay, there's so much other content, a lot of videos. Since I'm doing this, I think there's over 100 videos I've done right now. It's never something that I thought I'd be doing, right? But I guess this is right, the fact of life that we're doing it right now. Okay, so thank you very much again. And again, if you want to be to support the channel financially, right? If you want to help to support, okay, you can always become a patron. Sign up to become a patron at the website above. Okay, patreon.com/studio2105. Just head on down, check it out, see whether the perks and the benefits interest you, whether it's interesting or not. All right, you can just join for as low as $1 a month, which is 4 ringgit. Okay, 4 ringgit a month. Or if you want to do so, all right, there are also higher tiers, all the way up to VIP. Okay. Now for tonight, again, right, if you are watching this now or later on in the replays later on down the line, and if you sign up, right, and if you put the code up there, MixStream16, you drop me a message, you saying that you're going to quote this code, then I know that your contribution, right, for this one, both me and Marsha have agreed that if there's any, okay, sometimes there is, I have in the past gotten donations as well. So if you want to donate, 100% of all of it is going to go to a charitable cause. Well, we haven't determined because we just messaged. That's all. We haven't determined, all right? But I'm sure there are some causes or some charitable organizations or NGOs that maybe she would be supporting, okay? So thank you very much, guys. Let's listen, right, to the mix of Hapus, right? This is of course a BM version, as you guys have pointed out, right? You all were worried that I was mixing the wrong song or a different song. Yes, this is the BM version of a song which he did previously, okay, which he released in the Dusun language before. So thank you very much. All right, take care, good night. I will hope to see you again, and let's listen to Hapus by Marsha Milan.